following program on Ada Derana 24 is classified as PG. It is intended for younger children in the company of an adult. It may contain some suggestive dialogue, infrequent coarse language, some sexual situations, or some moderate violence. Viewer discretion is advised. The following program contains opinions of the participants and does not reflect the views and beliefs of the Derana Media Network. The network believes in a safe space for all ideas to be expressed without any censorship and on its duty to create such a platform for free speech. Viewer discretion is strictly advised.
Hello and welcome to another episode of TPS, where we discuss about the most relevant and pressing conversations that shape the future of the political landscape of Sri Lanka. And we've been discussing about different topics that actually matter to the political stability of Sri Lanka in terms of different participants of different parties. And today's topic is nothing new to all of us Sri Lankans. It is about the challenges with political dynasties and the shift in political power, because we have seen the rapid change of the political dynasties with the current political landscape. And to discuss this, I have two guests who are joining with me here today for today's program. Towards my right, I have Mr. Upathissa Kumarathunga, Deputy Leader of the Nava Janatha Peramuna. Welcome you to today's program.
Thank you.
And also to my left, I have Prof.Priyantha Morapitiya from the Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna. Welcome you as well.
Thank you very much.
All right, gentlemen. So now when it comes to this topic, it's very much evident, and it has been some sort of a discussion when it comes to the history of Sri Lankan political system, where we believe since the Bandaranaikeras to the Rajapakshas, and we've been seeing the family politics getting in the way when it comes to the Sri Lankan political landscape. And in that context, now it has been a change with this situation. So let me direct this question to you, Mr. Upathissa. Now, when it comes to this condition, do you think this is something where President Anurukumara Dissanayake has come into power with a majority of votes? Do you think this is something for a short term, or do you think this has a long-term motive with regards to how people perceive it?
First, I would like to thank Derana TV and the TPS team to invite this program. Actually, I would like to explain what is dynasty, political dynasty. Actually, political dynasty is like a family business, but it is political. All powers are generate around the family. We have a lot of example around the world: Philippines, India, United States, and so many countries. You ask about Mr. Anurukumara Dissanayake nominated as a new president in Sri Lanka. I think that is not a revolution. In the Sri Lankans, people want some changes with actually leadership changes they want. So, Anurukumara Dissanayake and NPP and protesters are that Sri Lanka, our country faced some economic crises. NPP and Anurukumara Dissanayake, President Anurukumara Dissanayake took this problem as their party agenda. So, people faced economic crisis, petrol queue and fuel queues, and especially former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa introduced organic cultivation, organic agriculture. That is a main problem to change this power from Rajapaksa family and Sri Lankan political culture.
All right. So now when it comes to that, now I would ask a follow-up question with regards to that, Professor Morapitiya. Now, he mentioned about how the dynasties has been not in Sri Lanka but also worldwide as well. But then again, when it comes to the current condition, we came in a situation where we saw the Bandaranayakas followed up by the Rajapakshas and the family politics getting involved in the headfast of the politics of Sri Lanka. So now, do you think that with all that matter, as he was mentioning that President Anurukumara Dissanayake was appointed specifically to cater this, get out of this economic crisis, do something differently. Now, in your situation, do you think that people voting to him has done any difference and has been different from the family situation or the family political background?
Okay, thank you very much. First, I would like to thank you to the Derana and then to the Miss Prasansa. This is the second time. I am very happy to be here. And first, before I am asking for your question, I have to tell you about the dynasty and the meritocracy. That's the technical word. That means people are thinking that the leaders should be based on their merits. So that's where we have to start. But remember, the dynasty starts from meritocracy. That means, for example, if you take the SWRD Bandaranaike, by that time there were a lot of people. He didn't come from the vacuum. There were a lot of people. Then how did he become the leader of that time? Just because of these merit-based credits. This meritocracy, right? Not because he is the first one. So he didn't have his father in politics. So he, out of many people, many leaders by that time, he was elected as the prime minister or the leader just because of his own qualities, right? So according to my understanding, according to my philosophy, the dynasty is not the issue. The main thing is the leadership qualities, leadership attitudes, leaders, what do you call that, everything what the leaders should have, right? For example, deep commitment, passion, deep interest, right? Smartness, all these things should be there, right? Then whether you come from the political dynastic family or non-political dynastic, that does not matter. What matters is her or his own passion. For example, if you go to the SWRD Bandaranaike's era, he was shot dead immediately. So immediately Mrs. Bandaranaike was nominated. By that time, there were a lot of big leaders. But the people knew that she is the one who could win the elections. Right? And then, so the dynasty was there. But by that time, they did not consider about the meritocracy of the other people. Right? There were a lot of other people. And then, when you came like that in 1992, right, the situation changed drastically. By that time, Mahinda Rajapaksa was the biggest man who started this Padayatra, Janagosa and lot of things, right? He was instrumental in protecting the JVP people. He went himself with Vasudeva Nanayakar and Nimal Kafanand to the Geneva, right? But by that time, everyone knew that we want CBK, not Mahinda, dynasty, right? Because then it is easy to catch the votes, right? Mahinda Rajapaksa was the prominent character at that time, but everybody knew, even the Mahinda Rajapaksa knew that we need to win the election, not because of his own political background, right? He also coming from some big background, but CBK is much bigger than his political background. So therefore, first I want to tell you the dynasty itself can't do anything. You need to have your meritocracy, that means merit-based. So dynasty plus meritocracy is the most important thing, not only the meritocracy, right? And your question, I don't think that the President Anura Kumarathunga could do something significantly under the conditions, right? First, you have to understand why the JVP, so-called JVP, was just 3% in 2019 when he was contesting against the Gotabaya Rajapaksa, just 3%. What were the reasons why he got 42% at the time of presidential election in 2024? Just because of Corona, just because of Aragale, as Mr. Upathissa very clearly said, just because of economic crisis. He manipulated the economic crisis to win the elections. And at the same time, just remember, in 2020, right, the same people, almost the same people were contested for the general election, but only 2 persons were elected in the election. But now, in the 2022 November, 159 members were elected. Why? Did they do anything significantly within that period? No, they didn't do anything, just because of Corona, just because of Aragale, just because of economic crisis. Right? We didn't have any plans for the Corona, but the Gotabaya Rajapaksa tried to manipulate the situation at that time. There was something which he cannot control, right? So please remember very clearly, people believed the statements and the promises given by the President Anura Kumar Disanayake. Unfortunately, now he was unable to fulfill what he said by his own mouth.
I'm going to take it from there. Actually, now when it comes to Professor Morapitiya's statement, that he mentioned that it is that external factors that also has affected in the history of politics, when specifically the Rajapaksa family has been mentioned. So, but now in that condition, do you believe, as you are a part of a People's Alliance, do you have the same notion or a different notion that it is also the environmental factors, economic factors, and whatever the conditions in that pertaining situation has also affected family members to get into politics?
Yeah, I have actually 50-50 idea, balanced idea. You know, we gave independence from British 1948. That is a rural country. But after 75 years, now at this moment, we have a lot of infrastructure facilities. Who is doing this? Rajapaksa family, Bandaranaike, CBK and Bandaranaike family, Wickramasinghe family, and Senanayake dynasty. We can't talk without these families in the Sri Lankan politics. You know, Bandaranaike and Senanayake, FR Senanayake, DS Senanayake, SWRD Bandaranaike, and so many NM Perra and Dr. Wickramasinghe, and so many people are fight to take independence from British country. Those peoples are dynasty, political dynasty. So, and that actually, but some I have some ideas. In the political dynasty have negative and positive effects. We should discuss about what are the negative effects, what are the positive effects. So I think political dynasty, in the political dynasty, from political dynasty we should take as a country the negative effects and political effects, positive effects.
All right. So just a follow-up question, since you mentioned about that we can always take the positive and the negative and maybe filter out the negative and take the positive into action. So what do you think one thing that has actually been positive when it comes to the political dynasty and has done good to the country?
Actually, I can mention positive effects. First one is established networks and alliance. You know, in history, Professor, Kachatiu island problems.
Yes.
Madam Sirimao very well managed this problem with Indira Gandhi. That is a network. That is a political established networks and alliance. That is a network. She have a family network. So we can in history manage this Kachatiu problem. And you know, nearly 2090, end of the war, Mr. Rajapaksa, Mahinda Rajapaksa, Honorable Rajapaksa could end and could finish this war. Yeah, I know final last days Pakistan and Russia full support. And in history, Jaffna Fort problems. Our Sri Lankan army and LTT against LTT, Pakistan Air Force and Pakistan Army and three forces and Indian three forces are supported to solve this this problem in the Jaffna Fort situation, war crisis.
I'm going to cut you from there because we need to get into a short commercial break. And I believe that was actually mentioned how the dynasty actually can be positive and negative. It is actually the matter of perceiving it and understanding it in the political landscape. So let's dig deep into what these challenges have brought about in the current political landscape, and has it been something positive and developing in this condition. Before that, let's go in for a short commercial break. This is TPS. Welcome back to TPS. We were discussing about today's topic where we are focusing on the dynasty, the specific aspect, how party politics, family backgrounds and all these historical repetitions have been a situation where we understand if it is something that could develop the political landscape of Sri Lanka or degrade in terms of the swift change that happened in 2024 with the leadership of President Anura Kumara Dissanayake. So I actually stopped you with regards to the positive elements. So if you could continue with regards to that.
Second one is stability and continuity in governance and experience and expertise. You know, in the Bandaranaike family, CBK had some experience, and Namal Rajapaksa had experience. They are dynasty, they are fathers' politics, fathers' experience, and I think expertise and experience is very important to political activities. So any people can't take without dynasty, political dynasty, that experience and expertise. Sometimes in the Sri Lankan politics, especially political leaders are used this expertise and experience to solve economic crises, war crises, and so many things in Sri Lanka. Another one is deep community connections and potential for positive founders and bucket motives and electoral advantages and voter trust. So many advantages, so many positive in that topics.
All right, so now I'm going to ask with regards to the current condition now, Professor. So when it comes to President Anura Kumara Dissanayake, now he has been voted with the majority of voters last year, with the notion that he is out of the system of corruption. That was the perception or the objective that people voted more for him. But then again, now we are talking about political dynasty as well. Now, in that regard, do you believe that he not coming from a family background where that is politically involved is a challenge for him, or is something good for him to experience a challenging political landscape in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, first I would like to add something for your previous question. So when the dynasty is taking place, the most important thing is you can establish the stability, continuity is a very important. Political stability is a very important, and then you have to continue the same, sustainable. It's a very important. When you sustain, the people getting more and more trust on you. The people do not try to experiment the others because they can believe you keep going on with the success, right? Then it becomes a culture. It becomes a political culture. First you start from the meritocracy. That means when you start from the very beginning, the 0 point, nobody is there, right? The SWRD Bandaranaike didn't come from the vacuum, as I told you very clearly, right? And then he continued, and he showed his talents, and then he showed and he got the trust from the people. And remember, even if you have the dynasty in full, this is a democratic country. You should be selected through the elections. We have the parliament, we have the judiciary, we have the media like you. So therefore you can do whatever you want, even if you come from the dynasty or not. But at the same time, I have to tell you, whether you come from the dynastic political background or not, everything can happen. I'll tell you, right? Just think about the 3 previous governments, including this government. Take the first year, please. Take the 2015 Ranil Wickremesinghe led Yahapalana and or whatever. What happened within the first 3 months? What happened first? That was the reason to be toppled that government. Central bank scam. Is he coming from the dynasty? Only one person. No, what happened? So anything can happen at any time, under any conditions. Dynastic political background or non-dynastic. So what about the Gotabaya Rajapaksas? Right? He was elected as the president in, if I'm not mistaken, in 2019 November, right? And then the general election in the 2020 August. Within that period, nothing happened significantly. He came from a dynastic background. Nothing happened significant. Tell me, please, if happened significant, if anything happened significant, how could he get that kind of majority? Right? That kind of majority after 1 year approximately. But what about this government? This government, the Honorable President, Mr. Andra Dissanayake, was elected in September 2024. Immediately after he was elected, he dissolved the parliament because he knew that he cannot go on. Because he knew that what he promised, and he knew very well that he cannot fulfill all these things. So he immediately dissolved the parliament. Still the parliament has 1 year to go, but he dissolved. But the Gotabaya did not do that one, because Gotabaya believed that, Gotabaya was very, very, very confident that he could go. But the President Anura Kumara Dissanayake dissolved the parliament. And what happened now? What happened then? After that, there was a very big scam. I'm not going to name it, right? This is the reason why one day this government will be toppled.
All right, I'm going to take it from there. So what is your understanding with regards to this question that I posed to Professor as well? Now, he mentioned that it can be positive, it can be negative. He brought out examples with President Gotabaya and then also the Yahapalana era. Now, these two have its subsequent challenges and also its positivities. Now, in that condition, do you think President Andra Kumara Dissanayake getting a majority of voters and securing 159 seats in the parliament out of 225 is a big win that he should be happy with regards to the not being into a dynastic political situation, but rather coming out fresh and starting fresh to lead the entire country?
Yes, first I like to start and add. For example, we can think about Indian politics. After 1990 decades, Gandhi's and Nehru's family's political end in the Indian politics. Indians are elected some professors, some doctors, and very educated people, educated members as a MP, as a prime minister, as a president. Then Indian could develop as a third economics in the world. I think that is a result from without political dynasty. If Indian peoples are think they want to they are elected as prime minister, as MP, Gandhi's or Nehru's family, in that situation they can't achieve.
I'm going to stop you from there because we need to run for a short commercial break. So I believe we will be discussing as to how the political landscape of Sri Lanka has segmented and also improved, or else rather changed, with regards to this topic of dynasty. I believe we can dig deep into how these two parties really understand and bring about their opinions with regards to this condition. Before that, let's go in for a short commercial break. This is TPS. Welcome back to TPS. We were discussing on how the implications, or rather the challenges and the shift of this power in terms of the dynasty works around in the political landscape of Sri Lanka. So I want to ask from Professor now with regards to this current situation of Shashendra Silva, he being arrested. Now, in that context, do you think it was a huge blow for the outlook of SLPP? Because when it comes to the controlled, enabled corruption, or rather did it weaken the accountability that the people have been perceiving with regards to SLPP?
That's a very good question. I think that's now under the judiciary, so we have to allow the judiciary to decide what is happening to the Shashendra Rajapaksa. Anyway, that's a good move. I agree with that. And I would like to say something. So now just this discussion is basically focused on the dynasty versus meritocracy. So that means or the people thinking that now the dynasty is denied by the people, and the people are thinking about the merit-based elections. I will tell you a very clear example. What about Dilip Jayavira? Lawyer turned politician. He graduated from the Colombo University as a law graduate, and then he completed masters in a government university. So that means he has all the skills, all the experience. He's a proven leader. So what happened to him at the presidential election? He was unable to secure 3% in the presidential election. And what happened? Just forget about the presidential election. What happened to the general election? He was unable to be selected within the 19 MPs in the Gampha district. So do you think the people's political literacy? So they didn't think about these merit-based elections. So do you think that the 19 people selected in the Gampha district much better than Dilip Jayavira? I personally know that Dilip Jayavira is much better than every one of them.
I'm going to take it from this side. Now, when it comes to this situation of dynasty as well. Now, do you think now in the present condition, People Alliance come into play with regards to many people's involvement from different walks of life? So with regards to your alliance, your opinion with regards to the alliance, do you think you all have a say when it comes to catering or being counter of the dynastic repercussions or the challenges, or let's say the black marks that bring through into the political segment?
I continue 1 minute. I continue in the Indian politics. Narendra Vishwanath Pratap Singh, Chandrasekhar, P.V. Narendra Rao, Atal Bihar Vajpayee, Dr. Manmohan Singh, Narendra Modi, they are not born from political dynasty, but they developed, they achieved economically developed India. So I think in this political dynasty, you know, very negative parts, negative characteristics. Corruption is a very important thing. This political dynasty's family. You know, Suharno and Indonesian government political dynasty's families, very corruption family, and their son, their father and mother and all members are elected as a, and they took authority, control their country. So I think negative and positive, but in Sri Lanka and South Asian countries, peoples are think about this famous family. So I think a lot of Sri Lankan in this past 75 years, Sri Lanka achieved a lot of developments, infrastructures, and economically and politically and ethically from this family political.
All right. So now, with regards to what he was mentioned, I'm going to take a different note with regards to your party.
Yeah.
Now, SLPP is also still in the play even after the wave of NPP coming into power.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of a role does SLPP play after all this with regards to the situations that were before the NPP government coming into power or afterwards? Are you playing more of a role of the opposition or rather a reformer where you can cater much more political abilities than NPP, so that after this particular period that you can come to the major power politics?
Yeah, it's a very good question once again, and I would like to add something. So now actually the opposition is in the opposition. Right? So I have to tell you very clearly, from my understanding, for my experience, for my knowledge, no any previous governments tried to insult or try to punish to their previous government people like this. If this happened in previous governments, previous regimes, these people would have been in jail by now, if I am not mistaken. Right? So this is not a good sign. Right? If someone has stolen public money, definitely he or she should be punished, but not this way. There should be a reasonable way of. Right? Anyway, for your question, now the government gave a lot of promises. I will tell you very clearly. I hope that both of you are Buddhist, I assume, right? For the Buddhist people, you have a week called Vesak, right? And for the Catholic people like me, we have a week called Holy Week. And for the Muslim or the Islam people, they have a week called Ramazan week, right? Now, for entire people have a now new week called Tax Week. right? This government came to eliminate the taxes or to reduce the taxes, but this president himself launched a tax week. What joke this is? What a joke, right? Because now they know that they can't fulfill their previous promises. So the opposition should take from them. But at the moment, this entire opposition is suppressed every day. The government does not do anything significantly, right? If the government believes that they have done something to the people, why don't they hold the provincial council elections, right? Because they have the majority, they have 159 members in their hand, so they could simply change the rule and go to the previous method, provincial council method, and they can hold the elections immediately. But they know that they will win definitely but they know that they have now faded power. Initially they had a supreme power, now they have faded power. Why am I tell like that? You can understand within the first 6 months they lost 23 lakhs and 60,000 votes. They lost. When they were losing, those voters went to the oppositions. That means opposition have gained. Actually, opposition did not gain. The people realized that they made a mistake. Then Namal, Dilit, Mr. Sajit Premadaso, Mr. Ranil Wickramasinghe will have to do a lot from this situation to come. That's not easy, because this government is one of the strongest government ever in Sri Lankan political history, with 159 members by their own. So that's not easy target. Anyway, definitely when the time comes, probably another 1 or 2 years time, so they will definitely fail, because you know what happened to this restructuring of the CEB. Now everybody now have come to the road streets, but these people do not allow them to go on. So I don't think that the opposition can do a lot at the moment, but now people are realizing. The media is helping. Media is helping people to realize. That's why 69 approximately, if I'm not mistaken, 69 something became just 45 lakhs. That's not because of the opposition's activities, but because of the people realized themselves that they were misled, they were deceived by these people, and now they keep on understanding that they will have to go for the alternatives. So the opposition must take the full advantage of that. But they know that they don't have any elections at the moment. But I am telling you very clearly, whether you like or not, whether I like or not, right? If the president is not good enough to run this country, he should be sacked through impeachment. But it is not easy to pass an impeachment with the 159 MPs. So the government is not suitable to run the country. You have to bring the no trust motion. That is also not possible at the moment. So then you will have to wait for the next elections, whether you like or not. Under the democracy, there are no any other in between. So please try to understand. I'm asking the entire country to see what is happening to the country. You expected a lot from this government? Did you get anything out of them? These are just the media. Every day you can see lot of media shows.
I'm going to take it from there. So I believe in this notion with regards to what you were mentioning as well, you portrayed how these different religions are being celebrating different celebrations, and how the tax week was brought out by the NPP government. So that is something for every one of our viewers to think through as well. So we are moving into the final segment, where we will bring about the ideas and the opinions of these two parties. Before that, let's go in for a short commercial break. This is TPS. Welcome back to TPS. We are in the final segment of discussing how is this dynasty something that is a challenge, or rather when it comes to the NPP government after 2024, it has been something that has taken a turn and taken a shift with regards to the political landscape of Sri Lanka. So, Mr. Upathissa, now when it comes to your party and with regards to your opinion, now in terms of dynasty, now do you think there can be something that could be implemented differently for the futuristic element of the political landscape of Sri Lanka in terms of obtaining a fresh perspective in the political landscape? Because I believe we've been coming through different types of histories when it comes to the politics, it being a different families getting involved in politics, then again the economic crisis, then entirely when it comes to the COVID-19, again we collapsed as a country. So with regards to that, what do you feel that can be differently implemented if you all had a better stand in power?
Yeah, actually I would like to suggest in all politicians, especially political dynasties, don't barriers to the other Sri Lankan peoples to involve political sector. Please, I suggest all political dynasties, please give equal opportunity to all interested people in for political action. So, and on the other hand, I would like to say all families, all politicians should develop their skills, their knowledge about new generation, new thinking ability, and new technological world. So our country have lot of opportunity, a lot of potential to develop as a developed country. So all our alliance, our party believed we should have open and lot of open opportunity to enter this political field, political segment. So don't barrier to the other people, other youngs and other interest people for political segment, political field.
All right, thank you so much. I believe that is a very strong comment as well, because with regards to the youth getting involved in the political landscape, that is something significant and that can be very futuristic as well. So with regards to your final comment, Professor Morapitiya, now when it comes to this topic, I know it's very deep and also has different perspectives and opinions. You can hold one opinion, I can hold a different opinion, and our viewers can hold a different opinion as well. Yeah. So, but with that regard, what is your final comment about dynasty? Does it require to be changed with regards to dynasty power, or else rather it should be taken in a positive notion and bring about the most effective mechanisms in uplifting the political landscape of Sri Lanka?
Yeah, a very good question once again. Yes, I believe personally that, as I told you very clearly, so I am not telling that the everything depends on the dynasty. There are many other factors, right? So you will have to couple all these factors. You have to get the resultant out of these, right? And the most importantly, yes, as Mr. Upathissa very clearly said, and the young and the most educated and most talented people should be allowed to come to the politics without being hindering, without being disturbing. But that does not mean that the dynasty should be stopped. Dynasty means only one factor. The main factor is the meritocracy, but meritocracy itself is not sufficient. Why? As I told you very clearly, everybody can do mistakes anytime, whether you have the family or not. Right? When you have the family, it is very easy to maintain the political stability. because people believe you, and whether you have the political dynasty, so it does not mean that you can do whatever you want, and then the next time you will be finished. So you have to keep on showing your colors, right? Then only people believe in you for the long time. That happened for the past few decades, right? So that is why President Anura Kumara Dissanayake said that Mahinda Rajapaksa is a political culture. Who said? President Anura Kumara Dissanayake, before he became the president, because he knew that. So therefore, you cannot deny the political dynasty at all. We need it, but mixed approach. Mixed approach. At the same time, so we have to believe the new people, because now we are on the verge of Industrial Revolution 5. Almost everything is now controlled by the AI, right? 3D printing and robotics and Internet of Things, and these are the things. So now we need the people to deal with these new technologies. So the dynasty itself is not a only factor. And also, most important thing, as I very clearly tell, we need the balanced approach. And the final note, what I wanted to tell you is that, so you ask about the political shift. If I am not mistaken, I can show you, right? If the election was done in 5th May, 159 MPs would have been just 97, according to calculation, because they got only the 45 lakhs. So according to that, the number of MPs were to be elected just about 97 in May. But if the general election was held now, it would have been much lower. So the situation is now changing drastically, because government knows about that. That's why they are not going to hold the provincial council election. Now the government is trying to find out the ways to postpone the provincial council election, not to the whole.
So I'm going to take that comment from there onwards, because we have come to the very final edition as well. So I believe in terms of the perspective with regards to dynasty, it was, I believe, subjective, objective, and it has its own notions and opinions. Even these two parties, these two representatives from each party mentioned how it is positive, how it is negative, and how it has been shifted with regards to the current political landscape. And even shifted, there are questions as to how the political landscape has been benefited, or rather has been degraded in terms of its growth circle. So I want to thank Mr. Upathissa Kumarathunga, the Deputy Leader of Nava Janatha Peramuna. Thank you so much for joining. And also Professor Priyantha Morapitiya from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
And don't forget to send your feedback to our email, feedback.ad24english@derana.lk, or our WhatsApp at 076-805-7933. We will see you again with another episode where we discuss about the most relevant and the pressing conversations that build upon the political landscape of Sri Lanka. Let's have this question with regards to if dynasty is something that is positive or negative, or rather that can be bridged together to bring about a much more positive political aspect of Sri Lanka in the future. So thanking once again all our spectators. We will see you again with another episode. Till then, have a good night and take care.
Sometimes life can hit you every day, and sometimes you can fall for everyone you see, but only one can really make me stay. A sign from the sky said to me, "Why for that special one, and I've been searching for someone to give my love. And when I thought that all the hope was gone, a smile, there you were, and I was gone.